All right, ladies and gentlemen, today lesson 23 is on solving two-step equations. So we are going to solve with multiple steps. I'm just going to give you these 4 rules. You go ahead and pause the video and write them down. Step 1, first thing you would do, this will work for any equation, is to simplify each side of the equal sign by distributing and combining like terms. We're not going to see any of these today, but you will in the future. Gather the variables to one side of the equal sign. So if you have a variable on each side, you need to add or subtract it to move it to the other side. We're going to use addition or subtraction to cancel the constant. So that's the one without the variable. And then we're going to use multiplication or division to cancel the coefficient. That's the number in front of the variable. Again, pause to write those down. Okay, so let's get into the letter portion of your homework. Which step of the order of operations would you use first to evaluate 9y plus 6 for y equals 2? So what they're saying is, if you substitute 2 in place of 9, what is the first step we're going to do in here if we follow order of operations? Well, order of operations tells us we're going to take 9 times 2. So you want to talk about multiplication because of order of operations. All right, so that leads us into B, and it says, which step would you use first to solve 9y plus 6 equals 24? So it's very similar to A, but we're seeing that this time we're getting our y by itself. So if we look back at our 4 steps on the previous one, we don't have any parentheses to worry about. We don't have variables on both sides. So now we're going to eliminate our constant. So here we would subtract 6 on both sides, okay, because we're isolating the variable term. All right, so let's get into actually doing some equations. So we're going to solve. So we're going to do our reverse operation by adding 4 to both sides of the equal sign because we have to keep it balanced. So we're left with 8w equals 32. Go ahead and take your calculators and divide 32 by 8 to get your variable term by itself. And you should be able to calculate what C is for you. In D, we have no parentheses, we only have one variable. So again, we're going to isolate the variable term by subtracting the constant. And constant, remember, has no variable with it. So watch, you have 2 negatives here. So we get a negative 22 equals negative 2x. We want to isolate just the variable, so we're going to divide by the negative 2. That's going to cancel, and you can go ahead and finish solving out for x. All right, looking at E, E has fractions. Fractions, don't change them to decimals. If you get the problem in fractions, that means they want the answer in a fraction. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to isolate the variable term, so we're going to subtract 3/4 to both sides. Okay, so that cancels, and we're left with 1/8m equals. Now here, 7/12 minus 3/4. To subtract fractions, they need to have the same denominator or a common denominator. So I need to change that 4 into 12. So mathematically, I'd have to multiply by 3. But if I do it to the bottom, I need to multiply by the top by 3 also. So that now changes this into 7/12 minus 9/12. And we end up with negative 2/12. And I'm going to actually reduce that, just to make it a little easier on ourselves, to negative 1/6. All right. So now I need to either divide by 1/8, or the same thing as dividing by 1/8 is multiplying by the reciprocal. So that's going to cancel. And I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal on this side. We just multiply straight across, so we get negative 8/6. And we can go ahead and reduce that and make it into a mixed number. So let's reduce first. So we get negative 4/3, or negative 1 1/3. Ideally, you should make it into a mixed number. All right. Last one. The Green family conserves energy by using energy efficient bulbs. They pay $125 for energy efficient bulbs. If the family saves $7 per month on their electricity bill and the power company gives a rebate of $25, in about how many months will they have paid for their bulbs? Okay, so they're conserving energy and they are getting a kickback for it. It says that they save $7 a month on their bill. So they are getting $7 back per month for their bill. Okay, and we don't know how many months we're going to solve for that. Okay, they have a rebate. That's a one-time thing. So I'm going to add 25. And we want to know after how many months is it going to equal the 125 that we paid for those bulbs. Okay, so we're going to subtract the 25 from each side. And we have 7x equals 100. And you're going to divide both sides by 7. And I'm going to leave that for you to find how many months does that take. All right. Thanks, guys.